James Kirkpatrick. I'm a Freemason. I started a group in the Boynton Lodge called the Boynton Lodge Esoteric Research Group. And we bring people from all around the world to speak about different topics, esoteric topics as well. I'm actively involved in the use of ayahuasca for spiritual awakening purposes and religious practices, and that's who I am. Perception is something that has been created for biological purposes, for us to be able to survive within a universe that's much greater than we can even comprehend. The things that we feel and understand with our sight and our smell, I think, are merely things that allow us to exist within this material plane, this illusion that we think and we share with one another. There are many different ways to change your perception of reality and to experience things that are higher and greater than yourself through meditation or prayer, rosaries, self-flagellation. I mean, just to name a few of the more mundane, or not mundane, standard practices to break out of our normal perception. There's also chemical methods that the shamans use, peyote, ayahuasca, things like that, that will allow you to go outside of the vision that we're used to and change your perception. And actually the destruction of your own ego and allowing you to separate yourself from the you that you think you are. How I choose to perceive the world as it's always changing. There was a point maybe 7 or 8 years ago when I made a conscious decision to disregard and throw away all of the belief systems that I had become comfortable with. All the religious beliefs, the beliefs that society constrained me with, you know, and by throwing those all away to the wind and then having to structurally build up a new belief system, I found it very freeing and allowed me to not feel confined by other people's view of me and not feel confined by the way society defines me and not feel like I'm a label or that I'm a word with a definition. Within all of us there's a creative spark, like a point, that point where the soul enters the body, that point where ideas are expressed, where art comes from and beauty is found, where poetry issues forth. I don't think when I think. I don't try to solve a problem when I have a problem. It's a lot about those sort of zen-y sounding non-doing to get something done things. Things will do themselves for you. The problems will become solved. It's not so much a conscious, here's the problem, you know, yes, you can write columns and lay all the data out and stuff like that, but for me, the solutions tend to just come forth from themselves during meditation or when I'm in the shower or when I'm driving and my mind goes into autopilot, you know, and I'm in a state of doing with not doing. That's what I mean, like driving, meditating, you know, when you can open up your mind to that creative spark, that whatever it is, that ineffable light, you know, that's where I find my answers. That's, you know, that's where they come from. I don't know what exactly that is, but, you know, that's where I find all the the answers to my questions and the solutions to my problems and the pieces to my puzzles. You know. Symbols and power and words. Words have definitions. Words are very literal, of course, by definition. Symbols, on the other hand, intrinsically have a lot more value to them. Every different person can look at one symbol and have 100 different meanings for it, whereas a word is very structured. Your conscious mind relies on words, right? You know, definitions of this is a sentence, this is the structure, right? Your subconscious mind, however, communicates with symbols in a much more open way. There are powerful things that can be done harnessing the transformation of a word into a symbol, and to be able to communicate from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind. I think a lot of people don't realize what they're wearing on their bodies with symbols, the logos, even the word logo itself, you know. I mean, we don't even look at how deeply corporations control us by imprinting on us these symbols that hold a lot of esoteric value. If you look at a lot of these corporate logos, you know, they're not just simply thought out squares and triangles, you know. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. Thought that's been going on for thousands of years, you know. So, and I'm not talking about corporate mind control or something like that. I'm saying that these are smart people, and they know the power of symbols, just the same way that a church knows the power of symbols, right? So, yeah, there's a lot of power in symbolism, in words, in the way that you express yourself non-verbally. You know, you can influence people, you know, in many different ways. Symbols are very powerful. Like the swastika, you know, like that's an amazing symbol. I mean, if you go over to India, you'll see temples littered with swastikas everywhere. You know, if you go to the Native American Indians, you'll find that it's a symbol of the sun, you know. It held a lot of power, you know, and that's one of the reasons why a leader who wants to, you know, take over a country and take over the world will pick a symbol of power that was, you know, used by, you know, thousands of people before him. So, I mean, there's an example of a symbol that was used through multiple cultures, you know, and now it's completely alienated. You know, now you can't accept that as a positive symbol, you know, because of the connotations of the, you know, genocide and all the killing that are attached to it. But that's an example of one symbol that it was at one time was beautiful and enlightening, and now has turned into something that to people seems so horrible. Right, so that's the power of a symbol right there. Now, if you go and you put a swastika on your shirt and walk down the street, let's see how long it takes before you get yourself beat up. You know, you put that same symbol and you wear it and you walk down the street in India, and you see how long it takes before someone, you know, praises you. You know, but it's the same symbol. What is my vision for the world? Currently, I think that the world, the governments, are headed in a very negative place. I mean, we're destroying the world. You know, corporate greed has destroyed, you know, democracy throughout, you know, the world. I think we're churning out faceless automatons that just consume and, you know, breed, and, you know, I think we're in a sad state of affairs. One thing I do find exciting, though, is that there seems to be an awakening. The information age has made it much easier for people to access knowledge and information. It's made it harder for some of these larger governments and systems to hide things anymore. And I see a wave of truth coming from comedians even. You know, Russell Brand's out there, you know, trying to scream the truth, and, you know, Joe Rogan's screaming things that make a lot of sense, and there's a lot of other people out there that are really putting positive messages out. And I have hope. I mean, I have hope that, you know, people are going to start waking up and start making a change, you know. I mean, the change starts with you at first. I've been working in a news organization for a long time, and just seeing the way that the news is manipulated to utilize fear to sell products, it's all self-serving, and it doesn't seem to go anywhere. Even our political system, it's like the Republicans and the Democrats, and it seems like it's more there to keep everyone fighting about whether the Democrats or the Republicans are right, and not really looking at the real problem, which is the government. You know, I don't think that it really matters so much which puppet we choose, because it's always the same hand under the puppet. You know, we can sit there and watch a Punch and Judy show of these puppets hitting each other, but we're never going to fix the real problem. You know, we're destroying the earth. The earth is like, we are part of the earth. We are the earth looking back at itself. Yet we're destroying that which created us. You know, it's such a horrible, you know, state of affairs. But I do have hope. I mean, I see hope in my dog's eyes every day. I see hope in every baby that I kiss. You know, I mean, I know that there's room for change. I don't know if there's time for it to evolve, but I know that it can happen. And I'm actually happy to do this interview because, like I said, I'm leaving this news organization, and I'm trying to figure out how I can spend the rest of my life making a change by using whatever I have to express a positive message, whether it's through my artwork or through writing or through, you know, whatever it is, you know, videos, film, whatever it is. I want to spend the rest of my life making a positive change. So I've abandoned, like I did my beliefs, you know, now I'm abandoning that person that I've built for the past 25 years. You know, just throw that structure away. You know, that's the whole thing about thinking you're a master. I got to that point when you think you're a master, you know, and you go, well, what's left? Like, what am I going to do now? You know, so if you never consider yourself a master and you're always on that path, then you'll never feel like you're lost. You know, just so yeah, I do. I think that there's a hope out there that we can make a difference. But again, the change starts with you. You know, the change starts within. You know, the whole man in the mirror kind of thing. You know, it's true. You know, make that change. It takes guts. It's a little scary. You know, what do my mom think? What do my wife think? What do how about what do you think? You know, focus on that.